right, we're live here again with another super killer team. These are the Open Dive team. They're building Open Era. To start off, would you mind speaking on why you're called Open Dive?
Sure. Um, yeah, so I think almost everyone in the team, we're researchers, some PhD, Sean's a PhD and stuff like that, and we work on pretty much everything related to immersive reality technologies. And so if people compare it to kind of like building haptic suits, which is what we do, so you can essentially dive into an immersive world. And so some of the things that we build, like a suit, allows people to kind of feel the virtual environments. So when someone touches you in a game, you can actually feel it. So we call that diving into a game. So in the near future, once we release this kind of tech, you could actually be diving into that immersive reality or immersive, worlds, virtual worlds. So that's why we call it Open Dive, because all the stuff is going to be open source.
That's super exciting. So that means this is just the beginning of where this is all going, which I love to see. Yeah, take it away, guys. Please go ahead with your demo.
Okay, 100%. So yeah, so a lot of folks on Discord and Twitter were asking us, which project are you guys from the DeFi Hackathon, where you been? And so we actually started off with Sushi Warriors. I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen really quick. And so I'm gonna go ahead and share and just give you guys a walkthrough of, and then we'll do just a quick presentation about the DeFi Hackathon we built, and then really focus on Open Era, which, Open Era is really an MMORPG and the likes of RuneScape, except that we're integrating a lot of the DeFi constructs that such as lending and also DEXs and AMMs, and as well adding crypto economic aspects of the game so that you can actually be able to trade, do peer-to-peer trading, hedging, and derivatives inside the game itself. So ourselves, we're Open Dive, as kind of Tristan asked about us, and just a quick shout out to Getcoin Kernel. We're Getcoin Kernel Fellows KB2, and we're also part of Crypto Chicks. And really, in terms of who we are, is again, we built a lot of immersive reality technology related to gaming, VR, even reinforcement learning for gaming. Because when we really think about the future of blockchain and gaming, it's about decentralization, which we currently don't see, right? A lot of these games are built and managed by a single entity, and that's not decentralized. So our real vision is really to decentralize the way the games are built, and even this game. And so we do this by applying things like artificial intelligence and reinforcement learning, so that when you're playing the game, the quests are actually generated automatically, even the characters and dialogues. So there's no actual, in the near future, a developer or a game designer that is really hands-on building stuff. And so we also built a few different tools, for game developers and game designers to kind of integrate smart contracts. And we're going to be releasing some plugins for Unity and Unreal. So for a DeFi hackathon, we built this game called Sushi Warrior. I think, like Sean, T, and I, and the rest of the team, we play a lot of games like Overcooked, Maple Story, Stardew Valley. So we always wanted to build a game that sort of integrated these kind of features where you can sort of, be able to cook and fetch ingredients and stuff like that, and then be able to maybe add some fighting aspect to it. And so that's what Sushi Warrior is about. It's a game where essentially you're a sushi chef by day and a warrior by night. And what you do is you go around and sort of hunt for ingredients. So you fight little monsters, and these monsters give you ingredients, and these are unique ingredients, and then you can make unique and rare dishes. And so overall, it's a no-loss DeFi RPG MMO. That's what we were going for. And so a lot of the games that we built before, if you kind of look us up, deal with no-loss gaming. And so if you guys are familiar with Pull Together, so we're essentially a no-loss lottery. Well, we combine that with a tournament-based game. So imagine rather than having to go ahead and pay to play a game, you can go ahead and stake. In terms of Sushi Warrior, we did the analysis, like if 100 people played and everyone deposited 50 to 100 USDC to play the game, then the actual reward would be pretty decent, a few $1,000s. And so once you kind of do away the notion of actually being able to lose money, then the players can focus merely on skilling, right? And becoming really good at the game and stuff like that. Now, Pull Together is on Ethereum, right? So that's one of the big issues. And if you guys use Pull Together, transaction fees sometimes eat away. If you want to buy a lottery ticket, you might end up paying like $50 or more. And so when we were trying to build this out in Solana, we kind of hit that roadblock because, first of all, there wasn't back then, any money market protocols that were ready. So no lending like Aave and Compound. And so we're kind of just thinking away and started chatting, with the folks at Solana, Bertoish, and also Tristan, from FTX, and kind of came with the idea that we could actually do some cross-chain staking. So we looked at, the USDC API, and we saw that we can actually go ahead and be able to get USDC in Solana and then transfer that USDC onto Ethereum and then deposit it into a pooling contract. And then that then can actually go ahead and deposit this into a money market like Aave overall. So, just giving a shout out to Taurus. We integrated Taurus, but this is a bit of the overview in terms of how NFTs were minted. And so we use Arweave. And if you guys have, built NFTs on Solana, you know that it happens behind the scenes. It's not like Ethereum where you constantly have to, sign a transaction. So essentially you just go ahead and mint the token and then you tie in the identifier to Arweave and store it somewhere else. Just to show, a bit of, how we did Taurus, because we got one of the awards from Taurus. Yeah, Taurus was actually quite easy to integrate. Essentially, they allow you to use OAuth directly. So, for games, really the user experience is the key thing. So, using something like Taurus in the near future makes sense to us. And so once you log in and you're able to kind of fetch your keys, you're able to sign the transaction. And so once you do this, behind the scenes, you already have some SOL that you can go ahead and stake. And so you guys get an idea of what we really mean about what we did with Aave is that, behind the scenes, the user logs in, they already have some SOL and they already either connect to the USDC API. And then with this in mind, then we can go ahead and use the USDC to transfer to USDC on Ethereum. Now, once we transfer to USDC on Ethereum, what we do is we go ahead and deposit the USDC to a pooling contract on Ethereum. And so then Ethereum, the pooling contract behind the scenes could go ahead and select the money market. We love Aave, so we used Aave, and then we can go ahead and select the pool, and then the pool itself earns interest. Now, if a whole bunch of players enter this tournament, then essentially it becomes like pool together, right? Except that we're not just buying lottery tickets, but rather we're entering a tournament, and it's based on skill. And at the end of the tournament, you get your money back, or you could win the reward. So here's just a quick rundown of what Sushi Warrior was about. Back to it. This is more of a full screen version, I think, just to show you the mechanics of it. So here's some of the folks that were playing there when we did like the alpha tests and stuff like that. So again, very like the mechanics itself are you have to go ahead and get these ingredients, right? You have some clients or your restaurant that need to specific dishes, and you go ahead and hunt them across this kind of like open world. And so these are like showing the weapons and so the cool part, of using Solana is that because, the transaction fees are relatively small and also throughput and speed are quite high, then we can actually do more on-chain interactions within the game itself. And we'll show a bit of the minting, how it takes place. So once we have these items, then we can go ahead and see we have some eggs. Maybe we go ahead and get some noodles, I think, later on. I think we need one more ingredient. I don't know. Okay, so here we're gonna go ahead and make a rare dish. So we fix those two out and we mint it. Literally, like, if you've done minting on Solana, is like relatively fast. So that's all it takes in it. And so then this is just stored as a token, SPL token, and then tied to Arweave. But just to kind of get to really open era, because that's what we want to talk about. So that's a wrap. All right, so OpenAir, as we mentioned, as you guys looked into our blog, it's really a RuneScape inspired game. I personally used to play a lot of RuneScape. I know Tristan played a lot of RuneScape because we talked about this quite a lot. And at least when I talk to a lot of folks in crypto, and we just do some surveys, people essentially learn about economics and finance playing RuneScape, right? Like, GP was a thing, right? You can go ahead and grind and earn a lot of GP. You can go off markets and make some actual cash. Now, unfortunately, RuneScape doesn't integrate cryptocurrency. Though a lot of people try to like do do off-game transactions with cryptocurrency. You know, and it was never fulfilled. And a lot of folks actually started talking about doing RuneScape-like games. So we said, you know, we love RuneScape. Let's try to give a shot to make a game that is, you know, in the spirit of RuneScape, but integrates cryptocurrencies and DeFi, but has a spin on it, where essentially you're starting off at different eras. So era 0 is kind of like Rust. If you guys play Rust, which is the game where you start off, you know, pretty much without clothing, and you have to go ahead and build and craft your own clothing. That's the kind of thing that we wanted to do. But we're going to show you a quick demo. So we're using Phantom Wallet. That's our favorite wallet. I think this is my test account, so I might not have any soul, but I'm not doing any no loss gaming. We just want to show you a bit of our progress. So once you're here, you know, you can select your different kinds of characters, you know, use different kinds of clothing and stuff like that. Let's see, let's just use this one. We're still working really through the actual models. So if you guys have any feedback in terms of what you think they should be like, definitely reach out to us. But we were thinking for going towards a low poly or semi-low poly kind of feel for the game itself. But we're open to hearing some feedback. And you can hop into our Discord or send us a DM to chat some more. So let me change your eyes. Maybe those are okay. Okay, I think there's my PC is running a few things. Just a second.
No worries. And this is the web version
That is
that
a
you're
web
loading
version
right now?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
there's also like a client download version and a web. There's a few different ones.
Yeah, I think you and I played together the web and the desktop versions. This is a desktop version, which I have it ready, but I want to show the web version too. And so currently we're also we built an Android version. So we actually working with Wallet Connect kind of project to allow for deep linking from Android. Just a second.
Yeah, no worries. I just have to say I'm so excited for this. Like I am so excited for this. As a big RuneScape player. Whoa, there's an airplane passing really close by. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, I think you and I have chatted about RuneScape quite a lot. I know you played quite a lot. I'm actually quite like, you know, I was really stoked to learn about Solana, and like we ended up learning about Solana and Serum actually when SBF he visited Get Kernel, and he was just talking about, you know, what's going to happen, what's the future of Serum, and why they chose Solana. So yeah, it got us intrigued, honestly. So okay, so actually I did a reset. Let's just go ahead and start. Okay. So currently we were developing a tutorial island. So if you guys have played RuneScape, we're building that out so you can practice crafting and also fighting and, you know, cooking and fishing. And tutorial island is going to include some no loss games. So it's going to be multiplayer, and you can essentially enter into, for example, fishing tournament. Now, one of the things that we're trying to do, and what we've done with some of our other games, has been to add verifiable randomness. So we're working towards doing that, so that if you're out there fishing, then the type of fish, or maybe the strength or the skill of the fish, it's going to be verifiably proven. So in the spirit of, you know, RuneScape, it's all about skilling. So there's different kinds of trees, and you know, currently we're very low. So actually, this tree is quite fine. So we're gonna go ahead and chop this one up, but Let me see. Hold on. And there's a few golems there that usually end up chasing us too. Yeah. Hold on.
Ah, you're being attacked. Kill it.
Yeah.
Kill it.
Okay. So actually, I died. I died. Okay. So this guy right here. So let's go find where's she at? Hold on. Oops. Let me just go ahead and play with this guy instead. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and show some of the things that we do with minting, and since NFTs, the standard for NFTs is still being developed, and Solana, currently we still use Arweek behind the scenes, but we're not able to show it in the wallet yet. So I think we're working with guys over at Phantom to be able to show that. But if we go ahead and maybe chop some wood, let's see, a bit more wood, we can craft something. Let's see. We can go ahead and mine. It's golems. Hold on. He's killing me. And so we're doing like automatic respawns for it. So in terms of the token, because everyone's also asked about that, we're currently still doing a bit of research and writing in terms of what the token structure is going to look like. And so far, we're looking into 2 different tokens. So this game will have a governance token, so that actually the community who plays this game can actually vote on things like upgrades, rebalancing of characters or weapons and stuff like that, or even transition to different eras. Because the concept really is that you can transition across eras. So it's really up to the community to decide whether the game progresses. And another thing that we're working on that relates to research and AI is in terms of how the models are generated, so that if maybe you're interested in having your avatar look like you can just upload a photo, and then we create that model that's almost similar to what you look like. But go ahead
and the listeners are asking, just so you know, yeah, it's just a stream that's lagging it. The game itself is very responsive and quick. So this is just a stream that shows it slower.
Yeah, so we can go ahead and forge. And so in this case, the first item that you can forge is just a mug itself. And so you can go ahead and drink water. It's also based on, let me switch the camera. Yeah, I think we were thinking about doing multiplayer with you, Tristan, but I was wondering how it would work out. But again, it's multiplayer. Currently, we have versions for Android as well as for PC and web. But yeah, that's a bit on the demo that we have so far. Tutorial has been built out. We didn't want to show that aspect, but we're going to have 3 to 4 different scenes that you can travel across and also play with people, and it's going to be multiplayer. But in terms of the future for what we're doing, we're planning to release Tutorial Island over the summer, and also look more into tokenomics as well. And there's a few other things. There's some partnerships that we have lined up as well. Some folks that want to integrate into this kind of game or be able to share characters across the world itself. But yeah, I think that's a wrap in terms of the demo.
That's awesome, man. Any questions? If anyone has questions, please put them in the chat, and we'll ask these guys. Please feel free. Oh, someone's asking about about the storyline. I know, Tina, you're working on that. I don't know if you want to touch on it.
Sure, the storyline. So in this game that we have different story. At the very beginning, we start with like Stone Age, and in the future we have Cyberpunk, and people could every different storyline that like timeline that people could cross back and go to the future. So that is, and each timeline that we have different weapons, different like clothes, and characters will look differently.
Yeah, so it's called Open Era because there's different. And so the governance token is in there so that community can vote whether you want to progress to a different era or not. If you don't, that's fine. But if you do, then the entire storyline progresses. And there's a few different things that we're working on in terms of, for example, we try this out already. And we have an idea how to implement it, but imagine tokenizing yourself as an NPC and being able to trade that across other people. I think that'd be pretty cool. So as you progress across different timelines or eras, you can decide whether you want to move forward or stay back. And if you want to move forward, you have the opportunity to tokenize your character as an NPC. And that NPC will actually live in the world and interact with other folks. And once you have that, and then you look at our past research, then you can think about what we can do if, for example, the community or the players decide to, formally agree to share some of their data that happens inside games. Because when you look at things like Fortnite or any other kind of MMORPG game, these companies are already, using your data, but you're not getting any revenue or getting anything out of it. So in terms of our game, we would actually ask for permission and then use that data, leverage it to kind of create different services that are open and allow players to receive revenue share from within the game itself.
That's awesome. That makes sense. Austin, can you move Irvin up on the screen so he's above? Like maybe move yourself down to where he is on the order of the screens because his head is cut off a little bit. Another question we're seeing here is, are there in-game actions which generate in-game wealth, which can then be traded back out to USDC fiat, basically earn to play? People are wanting to know.
100%, yeah. So I think, look, when you look into the future of gaming and blockchain, right? Play to earn is going to be a thing, right? That's what the metaverse is about, where people can actually, earn monetary rewards for the time. That's really the future, right? Because when you're playing a game, if you play like a battle royale game, you put in so many hours to get good, at just this game itself, but you're not getting just any monetary reward. And so the near future, play to earn is a thing. And so this game does have play to earn, and we're in talks with actually other money market protocols, so we can integrate into them. And I think an interesting part with the RuneScape kind of game that is verifiably random is that you can even do derivatives or futures. Like, you could actually have a contract where you're sort of trying to predict what will happen within the game itself. And there's many variables to it because essentially the gamers themselves decide what happens within the game, but there could be external factors that are verifiably random that affect the state of the economy or the game itself.
That makes sense. Someone is asking, is this the end of microtransactions in games, or will it be worse?
What do you mean by that in terms of?
I'm not too sure.
Yeah, so I think the member is referring to how games essentially they make their business model is really microtransactions, like selling you stuff like that. In our case, honestly, look, I love NFTs and I love people doing NFT sales. But there's a risk to the audience, and we think there's a risk to the audience in terms of buying, some of these pre-NFT sales. So when you think about decentralization or the future of decentralized gaming, you need to remove that middleman within gaming, right? And that middleman is the game developer, is that studio or company, right? And the way you do it is actually by integrating things like we just mentioned, like, in our case, we use reinforcement learning for quest and narrative generation. So that means that little by little, we can decentralize ourselves and the game could turn into a DAO itself. And so microtransactions, well, the microtransactions could go back into the DAO and be split across the community, right? It's not just microtransactions that are then, used by the actual company or that generate revenue for the company itself, but rather maybe for the DAO or for the community itself.
I was muted. That makes a lot of sense, guys. Well, we really, really, really appreciate having you guys up here. I don't know if there's any last comments any of you want to make before we close this out. And to all the listeners, thank you as well. It's been 2 hours and 43 minutes, so we appreciate everyone's presence.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I want to give a shout out to the nobles in the Discord, a few folks that really boosted our server and been providing a lot of comments. And, they got a first-hand dibs in terms of what the game looks like and providing some feedback. And for those of you guys, if you want to help us build this out in terms of, even just, coming on board as developers, we're hiring. We're going to start hiring actually next week. And also, if you want to give us some feedback and advice, just hop on the Discord, follow us on Twitter. We're almost always there, honestly. So feel free to reach out. We'd love to hear from you guys.
I actually have a question. What's the plan for building communities within the game? How will you be able to form a tribe with other people that are also playing?
Yeah, So we're working that out, but we're thinking. So the reason why we also mentioned Gitcoin is because Gitcoin has a token engineering group, and they focus a lot on DAOs. So we're thinking the actual communities or even guilds will be themselves DAOs within the game. That's what we're thinking currently, but it's still under development. So like we personally, like, I'm not shilling Gitcoin or anything like that, but they do a lot of research in that area. So I was part of the token engineering group, and that's something that could be applied into games. So that's what we're currently thinking of, but still under research.
Okay. That's a really cool idea.
Can you
People are
drop
asking
can you
about
drop the Twitter
Yeah.
in the Twitch chat, please, and the Discord link?
Yeah, 100%. I'll do it right now.
Cool.
Oh, someone's asking. The game will be free, Jaya Satya. It's not. You won't have to pay to play the game. If anything, you can make money by playing the game, kind of like Axie Infinity.
That's right. Or tournaments, mini tournaments, or stake to play. So you're only staking, and then at the end of the tournament, you get the stake back. And if you win, you win a reward. So it's no loss gaming.
Great.
And
Cool, guys.
Cool. Yeah,
Well, thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah, and this will be up on YouTube. So if you didn't see the whole thing, we're coming up on like 3 hours now.
wow.
We'll cut this up and it'll be up on YouTube then.
Great. Thanks, team.
Awesome.
Thanks for coming
Thanks,
on.
everyone.
Thanks to all the listeners. Bye,
Thanks,
everyone.
everyone. Bye, everyone.